welcome in, guys, to another episode of No Punts Allowed. Paige Kuhn here, Adam Kramer live from Vegas.
Yes.
Very exciting we get you live. Can we get the beer crack to start us off?
Well, first off, look at this, right? I've got the little mini ice. Okay, quick rant. You know, you do the ice machine.
Yeah.
This is a large IPA, but this is the only thing you could fit into this ice. So, pro tip, if I didn't have more than one beer, I've always used the garbage cans. Kind of gross, but you get the bag in the garbage can and you could fill that up with your ice if you've got beers to cool down. But this is a giant Wolf Pup Session IPA, Golden Road Brewing. I'm not exactly sure what that is. It's very cold. It's also soaking wet. I'm probably going to electrocute myself, but there we go.
It'd be good content. Cheers. So, still on the sober train over here. Sorry. We'll get there.
Yeah, God bless you. I'm like the opposite. I am day two of a bender week. Work week.
You're really making up for my lack of drinking, which I appreciate. It's basically because I will eventually do that as soon as the NCAA tournament is over. I feel like that's something, especially if there's a certain team that wins it, I feel like there's going to be drinks had. So we will get to that. Apologies for last week. We were kind of a hot mess and did have to punt, which I know not allowed, but you know what? We make exceptions. We make exceptions. A lot of people really were sad about it. I got some DMs, but everything's good.
I did too.
We're all okay. I promise. We're good to go. And you know what? This makes for a better week because we could wait until the bracket was out, have some fun, and get Adam Kramer live from Vegas. I feel like that's I think we need to do that regularly.
View. Would you like to see the view real quick? I mean, for people that are listening, they're like, "What view?"
They're like, "What?"
Let's see. So there's MGM. There you go. It's just kind of gross, but I'll say this: the weather here is perfect.
Is it
70 to 75 degrees? I gave you some of the off-air stories of what I've already encountered. Like, this town is ready for a party. If you've not been to Vegas for March Madness, you should.
Yes.
But know that what you're getting into is a shit show of epic proportions. And the other thing, Paige, that I'm like hit or miss about, I actually think, and I'm, going for the conference tournaments is quite fun. The week before is actually the hidden gem of Vegas basketball, in my opinion, because it gets a little bit amateur hour-y, like starting tomorrow through the rest of the weekend here, but still very, very fun.
Conference tournaments, seeing as I have been many times for the Pac-12 tournament, the most of my all but one Vegas trip that I have made has been for the Pac-12 tournament. Actually, that's a lie too. I've been to Vegas a lot. Jeez. I mean, it's convenient. Yes. It's close to where I'm from in California. It's a quick flight, super easy. But conference tournament week is so fun. It was crazy this week. My brother was in town in Vegas, celebrating. So shout out Blake. He had a great time. He said he left $30 up. So you know what? That's really not bad, especially for being there for 4 days. Like, I feel like that's a win.
My night last night I couldn't lose, Paige. For like the first 2 hours, whatever I played, it was like doubling an investment, $100, $100. And then it was not that. Like it got, when it turned very fast. I am going to bet, hopefully I have time to bet the play-in games. If you have some I haven't really studied the play-in games much. So if you have any tips, I'm going to run down to the sports book and do that like right after we're done recording.
Yeah, because there's one that starts like legitimately right after we're done recording.
Good. Yeah, we gotta. That's fantastic. So I am excited about that. So, no, I love this goddamn city, Paige. Like, isn't like every conference championship out here now too?
There's a lot of them. There's a lot.
I can't blame them.
No, and that place has started to grow a lot for sports things. Obviously, they brought hockey there. Obviously, they've got a football team there. Very exciting. But I do think that maybe at some point we should... I mean, Arizona has played their, like, non-conference game at Allegiant Stadium. I feel like maybe during the football season, we should go to, like, a pro game there. I mean, I actually really like hockey. But... hockey games are underrated. Like, I know this is a football podcast, but hockey games are sneaky underrated fun.
Sneaky underrated, especially live.
Yes.
Out here, it's great. I've been to one game. It was great. I haven't been to the Raiders stadium, but I am in awe of it every time I drive by it because it's right on the strip. Also, in all of the Wynn Golf Course, I was taking the
Yes.
tram the last couple of days.
Yes.
That is art. That is like a Picasso. Like
Yes.
it actually, I'm watching people play it and I'm like, ooh, they shouldn't be. No, you don't play it. You just look at it because it is stunning. And also, I don't know where they get all the water. Like it just looks like a logistical, magnificent nightmare.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get on that course at some point in my life. That is going to happen.
They played the last match there, and I thought it was really great. And very cool to
beautiful.
see. The Win itself is actually, this is actually just a Vegas hype podcast at this point, because we both love Vegas.
Sorry,
I feel like
can't help it. Yeah,
we need to. We are gonna have a no punts allowed. I'm putting it out into the universe and manifesting a no punts allowed like Vegas meetup where it's just going to be really fun. And if you are listening to this and you are in, let us know. I am going this summer in July with a group of friends. So
here every goddamn weekend at this point. So what's another week?
Your voice crack with that just made it even
I have Vegas voice for sure. I was waiting.
Well, the secondhand smoke is not easy.
Take over. No, not only that. And again, to each his own. I'm not huge into weed's not my thing, right? But it can be. I'm dabbled. Here, though, since it became legal, it is wherever you walk. You're getting like a secondhand high, which is fine. But it's also just like I was in somebody's coworker's like hotel room last night. They got this unbelievable suite overlooking. I walk in, I'm like, Jesus, dude, did you like where? How much did you smoke all of the weed in the town? And he goes, no, it just smelled like that when I walked in. So this place.
So someone who stayed there definitely did. The person that stayed there before.
Apparently, the last 100 people
allegedly
stayed there. Allegedly. And there's a giant sign like no smoking, and right when you walk in, it's like, yeah, I don't think people really care. But again, Vegas. You're right now. You're ahead. Okay, Vegas won Adam 0, but tonight is the night it turns.
It's a new night.
Vegas voice is going to get worse. Gambling's going to get better.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very good night.
We're also recording this on Tuesday because it's my day off. Exciting stuff during the NCAA tournament. But we're recording also so Adam doesn't need to record a podcast after a couple days in Vegas. I think we were being smart about that.
It's going to be so sad. Right now it's fun. Like, hey, Vegas. You're going to see the sad, like, get me the fuck home. Like, I never want to see this place.
No, and it's so funny after the Pac-12 tournament usually ends on a Saturday, so championship Saturday, and then I always book my flight at like 6 a.m. on Sunday morning because I'm always like, get me out of here, like, and I of course the last night never sleep, mine's quick, so it's really not that bad, but it's just like get me out of here, and that's how I felt in New Orleans. I was like, please get me out of here. My flight was at 3 o'clock. God. The day after the national championship, I was like, "You gotta get me. I gotta get out of here. I can't do this."
These towns do stuff like it is not healthy. At least if you go and when you're not having a sober month. And Godspeed, and God bless you for doing it. This place is not kind to your body and soul.
Your body. I think also
I love it.
God,
do I love it?
I think part of my cleanse here is to prep myself because I will be in New Orleans on March 31st and for the Final Four, so that will be something we'll definitely tap into. But the vibes are great in Vegas. Another place where the vibes look immaculate is Lincoln Riley's new house. This was something we were going to talk about last week before we had to cancel the show, but the pictures of this place are insane. The amenities, and I think I've jokingly tweeted about being adopted by Lincoln Riley as like a joke. I don't even remember why that was the case, but I think now that I've seen this, I'm totally down. If he needs like a live-in nanny, like I'm super down to be there because he has 2 girls. Like I'm in. As long as I'm allowed to be in the wine room, I'm good. That can be my room.
I wanted to. That's my room too. So of these things, so you have 13,000 square feet, 7 bedrooms, 12 bathrooms. 12 bathrooms is just aggressive. My God. 5-car garage, an elevator, 7 fireplaces, also aggressive. Movie theater, fine. Tennis court in that area, awesome. Putting green, sauna, steam room. I would love to have a sauna and steam room, Paige. I mean, I would love that.
I would too. Actually, I was just going to say that is like, I would love that. That would be the easy detox. I wouldn't have to take a month off of drinking. I could just hop in the sauna, get it all out, and get it.
No, that's it. And then the 600 bottle wine room, which is an aggressive number of wines that one room can fit, and a guest house. Like that's just like its own little guest house. Plus the views look
The view
unreal.
is insane.
There's that view at night, right, where it like overlooks into like the end of the earth. It looks like it is spectacular. Like, and we don't know what his contract is truly because
we have no idea.
They're private, right? Because
do you remember when he left? Somebody said that USC bought him a house in LA. That was like part of the thing, and it was like a random source. It was like a like state senator or something that had tweeted that, and everyone was like, "That's actually not what happened." But like, I don't know. Maybe if this is the house, I would have taken the job just for the house.
I mean, when you're the head coach of USC and you just got $100 million contract, there have to be perks. But oceanfront in LA,
this is not an easy house to come by either. Like there's only so much room on the coast to build these like ridiculous houses. Like that's
7 fireplaces is a little unnecessary for LA.
I don't know.
Can we agree on that?
Okay, no, because I'm from California and like when it drops below 50, I'm like, cool, let's hit the
Oh my
heater.
God. You're
Fireplace.
Upsetting me with that commentary.
I mean, I was upset today because yesterday it was 70 degrees here. So I walked my dog, and then today it woke up and it was raining, and I was like, all right, well this is not it. But it's only raining for a day, and then we're back to 70.
As someone who, as you know, enjoys lawn mowing and the outside work, the gardening, trimming, this house looks kind of like a nightmare. Not that Lincoln Riley's going to be out there with the old weed whacker, like, which would be amazing. Like, God damn it! Like, I picked the wrong house. Like Lincoln Riley just cut off sleeves and a cigar, aka me, like dad. Official uniform of all dads doing lawn work, but like there's got that stone around the fountain, with the grass. Like there's a lot. It's a little intimidating as someone that loves the outdoors. The thought of trying to upkeep this, which I'm sure he does all by himself.
Yeah, I'm sure he has no help there. But I just like that looks like I want to become friends with Lincoln Riley just to be invited to like a party there once. Like if we could just somehow figure that out, bottles. I would love to just, hang out at that location for a little bit.
Put a dent in the wine room.
Yeah. 600 bottles of wine. I mean, look, not gonna lie to you. There are at least 50 bottles of wine in the current location that I am. Which I feel like is kind of a lot for not having a cellar. We do have a wine fridge.
Just like store them in your walls, just like like all over the place. Does Lincoln Riley strike you as a wine drink? He doesn't strike me as a big wine guy. Like he doesn't.
He strikes me as like a Chardonnay guy.
That's it, right? Like that was going to go there next. Like what is he drinking? Because I can't see him like tipping up the glass of Merlot and that's very good. I mean, like he doesn't. I don't know. He doesn't seem like that kind of dude. Yeah, no, like that is not in his programming. Like, I'm sure now that he's in LA, like they're gonna like train him, and he's gonna be like, "What is this bullshit?" Like he strikes me as a Miller Lite. Like he should have a 700 can fridge of just Miller Lights. I think Lincoln Riley strikes me that kind of guy.
He doesn't even strike me as a beer guy, actually. He kind of strikes me as like a Scotch
dips.
guy.
So I could see Scotch.
He strikes me because he is kind of fancy. Like as much as he was he was in Oklahoma, like he's still kind of fancy.
He's a tough guy to read. Like even in press conference, first off, Oklahoma historically was not very kind to the media. Like not very open. I shouldn't say kind. That's the wrong word. But not very open. His teams weren't accessible. Like something would happen, they'd cut off access, right? Like it was
Brent Venables is the perfect candidate for their hire for them in that aspect.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. He comes from the right place. But no, this house is amazing. And I really, the more we like follow this, like I really want this to work.
Me too.
I want not just the house. The house will work no matter what because the dude's gonna get paid. But I really want this to be fun and USC to be like
Good.
really good, real fast. I think it would be great for college football, and clearly, whatever the hell he does, it's going to be great for him.
I need it to be good to save the conference. Like, I would give anything. Like, I mean, having USC
Yes.
and them being good just helps any form of TV deal we could possibly get, and they're in the right place in terms of, landing big deals, and especially with like all of the like rotating that's going on, like with like Amazon Prime
Yes.
and all of that stuff. And NFL things. Like, I feel like it's like the perfect person to really get that program going. And I'm excited to talk about Lincoln Riley again. Like, there really wasn't much college football news going on in the last couple of weeks. And I know we talked about spring games a little, but it's like combine. I mean, did you
It's been quiet.
we were going to talk about this. We were going to talk about this last week, but I wanted to give you a moment to talk about Jordan Davis if you wanted to.
Oh my God. Okay, first off, we bet the over on a lot of these 40 times, except for linemen, and
Yes.
it was like the fastest track ever. So I lost money on the combine. It was not a good combine for me.
Same.
So that,
because we did joint picks. That was the first time our joint picks really lost, so that hurt.
Oh yeah. Well, that's it. When we decide to roll together, it does not go well. So Jordan Davis, who measured in at 340 pounds, I believe, 345 pounds.
That's a lot.
Was running faster or as fast as like
Patrick
defensive
Mahomes.
backs.
He ran faster than Patrick Mahomes.
When you watch him run, and what was his time? 4.75. I'm trying to pull it up officially here. I think it was it was in the 4.7s. It's like a freight train. It's not like a sprint. It's just like this giant mass of human moving. And then also, my favorite thing is just to see him without a helmet on, because his neck is the size of a giant like ham. It is like I would imagine now. I don't want to get all drafty. We're never going to do that on this podcast. We'll do some draft stuff, but we won't get drafty. But like, so the thing about him, he didn't play a lot of snaps. This actually I find interesting. He played like less than 50% of the snaps, but a lot of Georgia's games were bullshit. So why would you play him in the second half?
Well,
so they're worried about him being
but we did see him in the national championship when they could have used him to stay on, and he needed to be off, and it took him a bit to get there.
I think he'll always be a situational defensive tackle. Situational, but there's some amazing ones. Vita Van, like guys in the NFL that I can't imagine him like falling too far in this draft.
It's not going to be a bad thing to have him on your team. Like, it's not going to be a bad thing to pay him. It's not going to be a bad thing to have him on your team. Like, it'll be fine. But watching him run, like it just like the other part of it is like sometimes when you watch guys run, like you could see the effort even in smaller guys. And this just looked like so like his body, like you said, it just moved like a mass, and he was good. Like that was wild, and we did lose money on those times. But overall, just watching that was the highlight, obviously, because the rest of it I really don't think is necessary.
I don't either. The prime time just hasn't really meshed with me. I tried. I don't know if it's like football fatigue or what. I just can't. I like watching some of my favorite players from college, and there's a bunch of them, like wanting them to actively rooting for them to do well, to make themselves money, or I guess more importantly, lose money. But I like when you're seeing an entire running back group opt out of drills. We talked about this. Like the future of the combine is, I think, not very bright.
Yeah.
Like I don't think this is here for long. However, if it allows smaller school kids or a guy like Jordan Davis to just like absolutely destroy everything, I am 100% here for that.
No, totally.
NFL wise though, holy shit. I can't remember a week like this where one story seems to just like surpass the other almost daily. So of all the moves that happened with the quarterbacks and anybody, I mean, I guess that's a really dumb question because Tom Brady's got to be the most interesting. Is it the most interesting to you? I don't know. Maybe it's not. There's a lot of really just drama all over the place.
So, I mean, obviously we're talking about Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady all making decisions or moves in terms of things. The Tom Brady thing we have to talk about because obviously it happened on Selection Sunday. It's a very busy day for me sports-wise and work-wise. And I legitimately was on my phone, and the bracket had just come out. It had been out for maybe an hour, I think, not even. and I'm
Yeah.
like looking at my phone on Twitter, just like checking some of the like storylines, whatever. And like, you know how when you like refresh something on Twitter, it shows you like when it was tweeted, it says like, in this instance, it said 38 seconds. And so I'm reading Tom Brady's tweet 38 seconds after it's out. And I'm like, is this a joke? Is this a joke? Is this a joke? Like, and I'm like screaming. And I'm like, clicking. I'm like, this is fake. And I click it and I'm like, this is real. And I just like, I mean, I was, first of all, dude, you couldn't have waited until the next day. Like,
Yeah, he kind of shit on your parade a little bit.
he did.
Like,
He really did. And I was really upset about it. And I am upset because I had just gotten to the point where I was like, Tom Brady, you know, I love Tampa Tom. I'm cool with Florida man Tom. Like, this is fine. I, you know, grew up, obviously, everyone was like, oh, Tom Brady's the worst. Like, unless you were a Patriots fan, like, you didn't like Tom Brady. That was just how it was.
Yes.
And now he's back, and he does it on a day that's very sacred to me. And I was just like, what? Why? And also, like, I can't, I mean, I know it's funny. Don't get me wrong. I do like jokes. But, like, he spent 2 months with his family, and he said, fuck this shit. Like, come on. That stuff annoys me. Those are stupid. Better jokes. We need better jokes.
No, it's tired. I think I'm just okay. As a Jets fan, I've told you this. He's tortured me all my life, but I actually have learned to like Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I find his decision making fascinating. When you think about how this whole thing went down, the reports leaked that he was retiring. He and his dad and his agent denied the reports, but they said, yeah, he's going to do it. We do like retirement tours, like 2 retirement tours when it was reported and then when it was real.
Yep.
And then he does a podcast, his podcast, and you could tell then that he was absolutely coming back, I think, in some capacity when they were like, well, you know, never say never. The family stuff, I just think this is a guy that can't, it's kind of like Nick Saban in some ways. Like, you have people that are wired to do a certain thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like Nick Saban has said, like, he's just going to coach until his health doesn't allow him, or he loses the passion or whatever. Like, I don't think Brady can step away. Like, he's going to have to be dragged out of football. And he might be. That's kind of the scary thing, honestly, is like, he's played well, but something is going to happen where he's going to, like Peyton Manning, where his arm all of a sudden is like, Jesus, he can't throw the ball downfield, or Drew Brees, or like an injury, which God, please, forbid, no, I don't want that. But that feels like what the situation is. It's like literally his arm is going to have to fall off, and then he's going to be like, okay, I'm done.
I just feel like he knew this all along. That's the part that bothers me. And like, we already have, I mean, think about Aaron Rodgers, okay? We just went through this whole thing. I mean, it's literally almost been, what was it? Wasn't it draft day a year ago? Or was that 2 years ago? Am I like, a year ago.
No, I think it was a year ago.
It's almost been a year where this comes out, we hear all this stuff, the conversation all year long, him being a clown on the McAfee show sometimes, like, we've just had, like, all of this attention stuff has been going on, and then he comes out of a 12-day cleanse and says he's grateful, and so then everyone's like, oh, he's leaving Green Bay because he posted this, and he's like, oh, wait, nope, he's signing. Then it's like, I didn't sign for $50 million a year. Oh, wait, by the way, yes, he did. Like, I don't know what got into these quarterbacks, but like, when did we become attention whores? Like, these complete divas of people, like, they are doing it for the attention. Like, don't get me wrong, these are 2 of the greatest quarterbacks we'll ever see. One is the greatest quarterback. But
there's no question. They can't help them.
They can't at this point. And you know what? I know someone listening to this is going, well, you know why? Because look, you 2 are sitting here talking about them, and it's because we've given them so much attention, and they like you said, Tom Brady podcast, Aaron Rodgers is on McAfee. They have the platforms to do it. Not that they could do it on their own social media, but in terms of like making big splashes and making money off of these things, they're capitalizing. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I probably would do the same thing. But I don't remember a time in the NFL where this has ever been like a thing. Like, I know Brett Favre back and forth did, but like, it was never a business play. And I felt like this Tom Brady thing was sort of a business play. And on top of it though, shout out to Russell Wilson for just ruining Aaron Rodgers' day, because when he came back to the Packers that same day was when Russ is gone. So that was hilarious.
That was wild.
To be honest with you.
That was wild. I think the NFL, we are college football or college sport people at heart. We love college football. I think both of us
Hmm.
share that. But nothing generates news in like the most random ass times quite like the NFL. Like the power
No.
of the NFL, I think is on display here. And I just when you look at like the whether it's the college, and this translates to college football too. When you look at like Caleb Williams and the position of
Hmm.
quarterback too, not only is it the power of the NFL, but it's the power of quarterback.
Yes.
The whole storylines in the college football, whether it's transfers or switching teams, is quarterbacks. Same with the NFL. And whether it's opt outs, all these things, I think that position, there's such a desperation to find a quarterback that that's going to just continue to be the case across the gamut. You've got high profile 5-star high school kids transferring and it being national news like this week.
Hmm.
So I just think from high school until you're 48,000 fucking years old, like Tom Brady, God damn it, you just won't quit. Like it's going to be the storyline up and down the gamut here of football.
It's crazy though too to think about. So I will say, and having covered the NBA like a few years ago, I was pretty largely in depth on the NBA and the drama of like the Warriors and LeBron and even like KD stuff and where he was gonna go. I will say that like the NBA, I will say NBA players were ahead of the curve when it came to being in control of their own narratives with the media,
Yes.
using social media to sort of push what they want people to believe or contradict whatever reports are out there, and that became like a very common thing. And I feel like the NFL now, with like you said, probably the most public facing, actually not probably the most public facing and popular position and recognizable position, these players are starting to catch on. I think this is also something that this is very on a tangent way out here. I think being in quarantine and everybody sort of having access to social media and learning how to do things from home and do it themselves and generate content. Like I think we're in a very like content creation mode right now as a society.
I
And I
agree.
think players are starting to capitalize on that and the attention. I think the way that Aaron Rodgers goes about it is very, very annoying. But I watch Pat McAfee show on Tuesdays to hear what he has to say about the week before. I enjoy listening to that. Tom Brady coming out of retirement, not really as exciting, but I hope that we hear more things from Tom Brady and get more access to them because I do think it's fascinating stuff. But the drama of it all, it's Hollywood. It's like you can't write this stuff. Like if you wrote a
No.
script, like people wouldn't believe you. This Tom Brady coming out of retirement 2 months after retiring twice, essentially. Like what in the world? And on
Yep.
Selection Sunday, come on, man, give the kids their
I know.
moment. You're Tom
I
Brady.
know. I felt bad. He's trying to do free agency. He's just a little attention whore. Whatever. Speaking of drama, that's odd segue. Speaking of drama, number 4 team in the No Punts Allowed official off-season top 25. And
Oh, we do
for
have
the
drama.
first time in our rankings, we are
Disagreeing.
going our separate paths.
Okay,
So
so to recap
Alabama was
though,
number 1,
Alabama.
Ohio State was number 2, Georgia was number 3.
All right. Yep.
Right? Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. Oh shit! I was like, is that correct? No, it is correct.
No, it is
So
correct.
without further ado, your number 14 is
Clemson. The Clemson Tigers. I am giving them the benefit of the doubt and a reboot and a revived program that gets some stuff figured out. And although I know they had a lot of replacing to do coaching staff wise, I think they're going to be all right. And they have the talent. That's the thing. They do have the talent. That's why. So I
they.
I grappled with this and Georgia because Georgia has the talent as well, probably superior talent. But the coaching thing concerns me. I think Dabo is somebody who's capable, which again, never thought I would say this, is capable of really getting it together after just a year of having a quote down year.
I think it's going to be one of the more like. I think you're going to have people that have them maybe as high as number 3 or 4, and
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe others that have them outside the top 10.
Yep.
I am closer to 3 or 4 than I am outside the top 10. I think the real interesting thing, Paige, because I'm with you, they have some stars. Like they were so injured last year. Like they got so beat up. Brian Breesy, like it was brutal. And then, by the way, they closed out the season incredibly well.
Yes.
We sort of gave
Yes.
up on them early, but like NC State was good. Georgia won a national championship. They lost to Pitt, right? That was the third loss. Okay. And then they played well. The quarterback situation though I think is fascinating, right? Will Shipley at running back I mean this. I think he's Christian McCaffrey 2.0, not just because he's a white
Oh.
guy, but because he's really good. They used him in that. When they couldn't throw the ball downfield, they would get him in space. I think he's going to be awesome. They have an amazing young quarterback coming in.
Yes.
And I like the best quarterback in the country. So if DJ struggles, and he struggled last year. I mean, man,
Yeah.
I love me some DJ, but he did not play well, and his accuracy, holy shit, was all over the place. They have a backup. I think that's a really interesting thing to watch with them.
That is a very interesting thing to watch. I was going to say, I think one of the big things too is like, this is definitely going to be a different dynamic for DJ because before it was like, okay, Trevor Lawrence, like, and
Yes.
people gave him the benefit of the doubt and was like, well, he's not going to be Trevor Lawrence because you just literally had one of the best quarterbacks in the last 10 years at this position for years. And I think DJ like didn't really like it. Obviously, when he came in, he knew that was his job, and
But
he
he had
wasn't
that Notre Dame game though, and he was Trevor Lawrence. Like he played, and
like
like it was
against Notre Dame. To be fair,
but he had like two games where he threw for like a bazillion yards. And it was like, oh my god, here we go again. And then it just, ugh, like it was
yeah,
bad.
yeah. No,
It wasn't bad.
I
No, but it was
will.
single-digit touchdown passes, I believe he
Yeah.
finished with.
Well, but
Like,
now,
yikes.
now he's going to be in a competition essentially. Like again, I
Yeah.
know currently he's probably favored, but like now you have some pressure, and I wonder if that like this is the first time he's had the pressure. I think coming in after Trevor Lawrence, people sort of gave him the benefit of the doubt, and there really wasn't that pressure. It was just kind of, and also what we know of his family and how they view some of these things. Like he would have a bad game, and his dad would be like, "It's a learning process. We're gonna get through it. I still love my son." Like they're very positive people, despite there being a like tough way about it, but there was no one there to really replace him. Now there is someone who could legitimately
Yeah.
replace him and change the trajectory of his career if he doesn't step up this season. So I think that makes it a little bit
Oh,
more intense,
I,
and maybe he rises to the occasion, and I think so.
I love Big Dave, by the way. Dave, his father, really good guy.
Yes.
Fascinating story. And I'm not just saying that because we did this story, but also DJ
You're
younger
like, I'm not
brother
just saying it because I
Mateo.
wrote it, but
But yeah, no big deal. And DJ's younger brother Mateo is going to be a star, probably a defensive end or a tight end, whatever the hell he plays. So Clemson is not, you're not going to have to wait long in my rankings to hear Clemson. I have to double check where I have them, but they're going to be coming soon. I
but
have A&M at 4. And I'm a little I see your face for those that aren't watching on video. Yes, it's a little aggressive. I think this might be I think A&M next year at this time is going to open probably top 3, top 2. When you
mhm.
look at the trajectory though, Paige, they are on the Alabama Georgia path.
Mhm.
They had a crazy
You mean
defense
the
last
Georgia
year.
path? They're not on the Alabama path. Alabama's on a different
Well,
level. Thank you.
Alabama's on a different level, but in terms of yes, of course. Why did I even say that? Thank you for correcting me. No, they
You're so
lose a
welcome.
decent amount. They lose a decent amount of starters. Um, but Max Johnson, another team that recruited great at quarterback. The defense is going to be amazing. They've got this recruiting class is historically great. I mean,
Mhm.
it might be the greatest recruiting class ever in terms of star
In
power.
terms of ranking, I think it was.
They've got like 3 legitimate quarterbacks, assuming they're all there. It's just a question of is the young talent going to be ready, right?
Mhm.
And that's a fair question, but I think this team is poised for stardom. They beat Bama this year. It was funny. It was a game I predict A&M to win, but when you watch the season, it was not a game I thought they would win. Like that's a weird game still now when you look at it. And then the wheels
Yeah.
kind of fell off. So a lot of pressure is on Jimbo, by the way, because he's recruiting well. He's got great rants. Like you got to start. You can't they won 8 games last year, Paige. Like
Yeah.
that shit ain't gonna cut it anymore. Like contract jokes aside, I'm tired of those. Everybody's got a lot of money now. Jimbo's the godfather of getting like $10 deals.
Yeah.
They have to win big, and it's going to be really tough to do that in the conference they play in.
The other part of it is that they will have no issue firing him and paying a coach lots more if he doesn't actually figure it out. But he certainly will. I think his rants were Saban level. I think he's prepared to swing with the big guys. So that is our first one that we've done differently. But I think we'll be
good.
pretty similar. We'll also like put them all fully out at the end of this ranking system. We will have producer Matt put it together so we can give our official, especially because we might have to like go through it and discuss all 25 at once right before the season, just to go,
there might
hey,
be
you know what? There might
stuff.
be some changes. There might be some rotations because a lot of stuff can happen.
No, and I love it. I love that I love this ranking because no matter what the hell's going on in college football or what's not going on, there's content here. But this week is about March Madness. So before we say farewell, we need to talk March Madness. I want to ask you this. So I'm in Vegas. I'll be working some tomfoolery on Thursday. I'm not a huge basketball junkie, but when football ends, I get into it. I like watching it. I obviously love the bracket. You do follow this closely,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
and you cover it for Bleacher Report. So, like, my viewpoint of this bracket, there's a lot of really close point spreads. Like, that's more than anything. I thought I saw a stat that there was like 10 games within 3 points or less, and then like the last 2 years there was 11 games combined.
Yeah.
I think it was a Chris Felica stat, which is great. So it seems like we're going to have, and it also seems like, frankly, the one seeds and the top talent don't feel like unbeatable. Like, this could be weird. I hope it's weird because I want it to be weird.
Yeah, I mean, I want it to be weird to an extent. But I think
Except for one team.
Fandom aside, I will say this year the gap between the 1 seeds, 2 seeds, and 3 seeds is a lot smaller than it has been in years past, in recent years. This tournament is going to probably be one of the wilder ones we see. I think it ends in a relatively chalk Final Four, but I think the chaos is going to ensue because, like you said, everybody seems beatable this year. Like there are moments. I mean, even Gonzaga has lost a regular season game at this point. Well, besides, I should say, a conference regular season game.
Yes.
To St. Mary's, and like normally we're used to seeing Gonzaga only be either undefeated or have lost one of the bigger games that they non-conference games that they play, and they did lose to Duke early in the season in November. I was there for that game in Vegas. That was an awesome game, and I think that was like the start of us being like, oh, college basketball season's about to be good. We do have to mention that Duke is on they looked great leading into that
yes.
UNC, they'd won a lot of close games. Obviously, they lost to Virginia, but they had won a decent amount of close games. And I don't think we're used to them playing in that tight of games. But losing to UNC at home on Coach K's last game was like pretty comical, and then also losing in the conference tournament as well is a little rough. But it's interesting to me too that Kentucky, a lot of people were out on them early in the year, and I think now people are like, holy shit, this is still a Kentucky team. UCLA is still very good.
The Kentucky futures are crazy. Like,
yes,
they're like the second or third selection. I want to check the updated one. So they are the third selection at 8-1 behind Gonzaga and your Arizona Wildcats. So
yeah, I do need to go on a little bit of a rant because and if you've listened to this podcast, you know that I have been very supportive about how very good I think we are this year. We being the Arizona Wildcats.
Thank you.
And I was watching the College Game Day on ESPN before the conference tournament championship against UCLA.
Oh boy.
And I watched every single person on that panel say, well, without Kirk Kriisa, UCLA is completely healthy. They haven't been completely healthy in a while. I mean, I think it's going to be close, but I do think UCLA is going to pull us out. I do think UCLA. Everybody picked UCLA. Okay, then mind you, that's Saturday.
Is this you telling them to eat shit right now? Is that what this is?
Hold on, no. And then Sunday.
I'm sorry.
Okay, Sunday morning, brackets come out and everyone's like, Arizona's my national championship pick. I'm like, first of all, you've got to be joking. You have to be joking me. You guys were not on that train. First of all, Arizona was not, I just want to point out, Arizona was not ranked preseason. Not at all. Not even in low, no, not ranked. Picked to place 4th in the Pac-12, okay? And are now a 1 seed and arguably could have been the number 1 overall seed if people really paid attention with their eyes. But that game against UCLA, they proved a lot, so I understand the shift. Overnight. Wow. But I just thought it was wild to me how many people all of a sudden now national analysts are picking Arizona at an alarming rate, and I would like to tell them to stop because I don't need them to jinx anything for me. But, I mean, I obviously have them in my bracket. Also, something that I truly, truly believe in. If you're in a bunch of, bracket challenges, use one bracket. Those are the rules. You can't change it up. No, one bracket for all of your pools. That's how it works.
I don't disagree with that. No, I just love that you just shit all over. I thought you were shitting on a certain segment of Arizona.
No,
haters,
it's everybody.
But you went preseason rank. Yeah, that's good. No,
it's everyone. It is every single person that, well, especially because I get this a lot because I work
all the haters
in it.
Yeah.
People are always thinking that they think that I'm biased, which I am, and I will own that, but I am realistic about the things that I'm biased against. Like, even Alabama. Sure. Like, I could be realistic when Alabama looks like shit. But Arizona, this team is very, very special, and I'm shocked that there are a lot of people on the bandwagon now. I'm happy, but it concerns me a little bit.
All right, here's my Final Four. I do not have Arizona in my Final Four. I've been dreading saying this. But maybe it's a good thing that I don't now. I don't know. And then you'll still be mad, though, kind of?
The best part about this is our national college basketball writer for Bleacher Report, Kerry Miller, who is our bracketologist. He was not going to pick Arizona to win. And he's the only one out of our staff that
was he scared to tell you this?
No, and I told him, I was like, I'm glad you don't, because if you did, then 1, everyone would blame me, and 2, then I would be like another person picking Arizona, like, here we go, the odds are in our, like, this isn't good, we're gonna jinx it. So you know what, you doing it, I will give you a pass, but I'm gonna let you know now, when they do make it to the Final Four, I'm going to be the most obnoxious human being. Well, actually, if they do make the Final Four, you are going to lose an actual bet. You're doing a TikTok dance. That's what we're doing. Done. All right, decided.
Fair enough. That's a good. Okay, Arizona to the Final Four TikTok dance.
Yes.
It will be bad, and I'm here for it.
And I get to pick which one. I already know which one I'm doing.
You know what? I'm not going to ask a question because it's going to make me sound so old. Like, I'm just going to say, okay, I agree to this. So I have Tennessee. Okay. I have Auburn.
Okay.
I have Purdue. It hurt.
Wow, you went anti-chalky.
I have Gonzaga. And I have Tennessee beating Purdue in the finals. I got to say, my Iowa Hawkeyes, Big Ten champions, just saying, I watched that game with Purdue, which I didn't think played well. They've got some dudes. Also, that center who's 7'12", and that guy is smooth for a 7 foot. I think he's 7'4". That dude can play and move like he's graceful for like a giant human.
So, I mean, clearly you don't care about me and our friendship, but I clearly care about you because the Iowa Hawkeyes are in my Final Four.
Okay, I thought about it.
Okay.
I don't know.
So wait, what was your Final Four again? You did Gonzaga?
So yes, I have Gonzaga out of the West. I have Purdue out of the East. I have Tennessee out of the South. I'm sorry. And I have Auburn out of the Midwest.
Okay.
I have Iowa losing to Auburn. Okay. I do not feel good. I got to say, Paige, this is hard. I don't have nearly as much intel on this stuff as I'd like.
You can have as much intel as possible, and it's just that's why I hate when people ask me for advice on this, because I'm like, no. Like, it's a shit show.
And I'm telling you, the point spreads are hilarious in this. Like,
yes.
So who's your? By the way, you have to give your Final Four, and then I want
my Final Four. Yes.
Pepper you. Yes, go for it.
My Final Four is Gonzaga, Kentucky, Arizona, and Iowa.
Oh,
That's my
Iowa's
four.
gonna
But
let you
also,
down. I'm so
to be
sorry.
fair, you did. I don't know if you know this, and this is why you did it. But Arizona did lose to Tennessee earlier in the season.
Yes, but that's not why I did
That's
it. I just think
upsetting that you
Tennessee is.
picked that. It's a very sensitive. That's the day after I found out I had COVID.
See, like, and then if I picked, oh my god, and then if it was, to be like another bandwagon asshole. Okay,
You can never
before
win
we
with
leave,
me.
because I have to go bet this goddamn playing game. What bets? I need betting advice.
You're gonna
I'm
literally have to run.
running down there now.
Okay,
What
so
time's it start?
what are the lines on the playing games? The ones for today.
What the hell is USC Upstate? What the fuck is that? Who the fuck is USC Upstate? Is that a real game? Okay, A&M Corpus Christi. This is in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. A&M Corpus Christi versus Texas Southern. You know what? I can put it on the app. Texas Southern minus 3.5. I like Texas Southern.
Okay.
Don't ask me why.
I have no insight for you.
Please. Okay.
What's the other
do
one?
not ask me why.
Which one's today?
We've got. I think that's today. That's coming up.
There are two today.
Is Indiana Wyoming tonight? That's a good game. I like Indiana minus 4.5.
No.
You like Wyoming?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to pause. Tomorrow, let's not talk. Playing games are boring. I want to know, though, is there any game on Thursday or games that stand out that you like?
Thursday. Let me look at the.
So I'll give you one. Today? I like Colorado State plus 2.5 versus Michigan. I still think Michigan's trash.
Yeah, bet against Michigan at all costs.
Colorado State is good. I will say South Dakota State plus 2 against Providence. It's getting a little too trendy for me, Paige. It's getting a little too trendy for me. I'm a little worried about that. 13 versus a 4. Memphis minus 2.5 versus Boise State. I like Memphis. Didn't know there was a school named Longwood, by the way. Didn't know till this tournament. Just fun fact. Here's a game, a point spread. I know I'm just going machine gun right now. UConn only 6.5 versus New Mexico State. That was one that kind of jumped out. A scary if you're a UConn fan.
5-12 is such a basic one. Oh, one I will tell you to stay away from that I know a ton of people are going to pick. Do not pick UAB over Houston. Where is that in the? That's in the south,
here.
Isn't it? Do not pick UAB.
That's very trendy.
Take Houston.
8.5. Houston's good.
Take Houston. That's everyone's upset pick in their bracket. Sorry, that wasn't a gambling one, but that's just
Michigan State minus 1 versus Davidson. That's a little slippery line there.
I never bet against Tom Izzo in March.
Yeah, fuck Tom.
Like Izzo. Ever.
Sorry, Tom's family, if you're listening. Creighton,
I'm sure they listen.
He just is so annoying. I gotta stop. See, I have a giant.
This is why it's hard, and that's why I didn't set anything on our agenda to like actually pick some games with spreads because it is absolute chaos. And the first time this is a fun story. Here's a fun story for you before we head out and you place your bets. You can place your bets while we're sitting here, by the way.
I'm listening.
You being on your phone, I don't even mind. I'm just going to tell this little story. The first time that I ever gambled on sports was March Madness, and it was a year that Arizona was not in the tournament, and I had never done it before. The concept was so foreign to me, which is funny now because I used to be like, I'm not going to do it. People really got into it. It was the start of like gambling really being popular in sports and legalized in a lot of different places. And it was the most exhilarating. Like I will never forget the first bet that I won that was like paid out pretty big. It was Vermont minus 9, I think was or Vermont plus 9. And I just remember mind you, I worked on our app alerts team at Bleacher Report at that time. And I mean, watching those games in office and just like we had bet as a group and that was probably one of the, and it came down to like a last shot and it would have like ruined our entire like parlay. And I just remember it hitting and just losing my mind, and that was the first like degenerate high that I got. So shout out to Vermont for that for me, because the NCAA tournament has never been the same.
I saw UConn lose with, who was it, Emeka Okafor? That was like the super team of UConn. This was I'm old, but that was one of my first times out here.
Sorry,
and was it George Mason? And I don't, who was it? I forget who it was.
No, I'm just laughing because you are aging yourself by saying these things out loud.
Oh, I know. But I remember watching that in the sports book, and I was like, I absolutely love this. But, okay, before we go, a best bet. I am going to say I think my best bet, Paige, is Colorado State versus Michigan. I get it. Michigan's favored. They got in. Whatever you feel, blah, blah, blah. Colorado State is actually really good when you look at what they do. I'm getting 2.5 points. I'll probably bet the money line at plus 125, 120, something in there. I like Colorado State. I think would be my best bet.
I think there was like a boosted odds on DraftKings. I want to say it was DraftKings that you could get Gonzaga money line for like plus
100.
Yeah, like plus 150 maybe. I don't know. It was actually pretty good. I don't remember where I saw it. I'm pretty sure it was DraftKings.
I think it was DraftKings. I agree, because somebody sent me that, which is beautiful. It's free money.
Yeah, that's an easy money cash one there. I don't anticipate them being upset originally. Where did you have Arizona losing? Did you have them losing to Tennessee? Where did you have them?
I had them losing to Tennessee. Keep coming back to that. I had them losing to Tennessee.
I got to tell you, it's going to be an interesting tournament for me. I now that the expectation is national championship, after watching that UCLA game, I was very convinced. We are clearly missing one of our best players, but the fact that we could still manage without was a huge deal. But this is going to be, I love this stuff. Like, I gotta tell you, I will probably record a lot of me watching this because it just is the best. Like, I honestly, this is my Super Bowl. I know it sounds crazy, but like, this is the Super Bowl for me.
It's fun.
I love this tournament, and coming from a basketball school, having them be good, but also just in general, I love covering this sport because it's so crazy. And like I said, like, people will ask you for advice on your bracket, and I'm like, no, I will not help you because there's no reasoning behind this. That's why it's called March Madness. It is literally the craziest sporting event, and anyone can beat anyone on any given day in the sport of basketball.
Have fun.
It's not like football.
Have fun with it. Lean into it. I love this tournament. It's fun to be out here just for that, just to see the excitement. Now I have to go make a bet because my app wasn't working. So I'm going to literally sprint down their page like a goddamn lunatic and bet. Dang. Who the fuck was I betting? I don't know. I'm going to figure it out.
You're betting Wyoming.
No. I'm not betting. That one I don't have to sprint for it, I don't think. I will bet Wyoming. I'm going to bet Wyoming. You talked me off of Indiana. But I need action, Paige. If I'm being completely honest, I need action. I'm not proud of it, not happy about it, but I can't
wait also for you to for Arizona to make it to the Final Four, and you have to do a TikTok dance. For those of you TikTokers that listen, I'm going to make him do the Beyonce Freakum dance. So if you Freakum dress dance. So
I don't know what that is. Doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good, babe. It does not.
Just go ahead and Google it at this point so you can start practicing the choreography.
I'm gonna figure that out.
All right. Well, we will see you guys next week. We promise. We'll have better bets once there's less teams and less games to worry about. But Final Fours are set. Those ones you can bet on now. Make your futures. Kramer, any parting thoughts from Vegas besides the fact that you're going to sprint?
I'm going to sprint, whatever that looks like these days, and I'm going to...
Like Jordan Davis.
It's going to be... Yeah, it's going to be... Yeah, no, not like that. No, it's going to be way less graceful than that, and way... No, it won't.
I'm going to be on the phone with MGM asking for security footage. What floor are you on? I need to know.
Just to bet a playing game. All right, I got to go. For Paige, I'm Adam. We'll talk to you guys next week.